So then file the lawsuit. Isn't that what they said their intentions were in the first place? Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Now, I posted something in my community tab about an hour and a half or so ago, but I wanted to make a video about it because to me, it's one of the most extremely important subjects in the Idaho case, okay? So I saw this on Brian Enton's Twitter page, X page, whatever the hell page, and it states, I'm told the only way to stop the Idaho house from demolition would be through a civil action. A family member of a victim could file a lawsuit against University of Idaho, then ask for an injunction claiming house is evidence. Legal fees would be expensive. Okay, well, for one, you can't claim the house is evidence. The house is evidence. Okay. Now, and I understand because I've said this myself. The structure of that house has completely changed. There's been chemicals ran through that house that have changed anything that could have been left behind. I understand that. I have been screaming that exact same point when it came to the Faro scanning. My whole point with the Faro scanning is because they can't say that they're going to be using a 3D model in front of the jury, but then a big portion of that 3D model is scanned after the house has been messed up on the inside, has been structurally changed on the inside, okay? And I understand that while the jury themselves might not get an actual feel for the way the house was that night, I can pretty much bet you, just like I mentioned in a previous video, if there were 6 grand jury members that needed more information for just the grand jury portion of this entire thing, there's no way in hell that when it comes to a death penalty jury trial, they're not going to want to see the house. And it could literally mean life or death for Bryan Kohberger for that house to be standing or not. A jury member might have a crap ton of questions, but because they're not able to go and see the house, walk the house, get a feel and a vibe for it themselves, they can't make an actual accurate choice of their own. And they're going to end up following the popular vote, which isn't really the way that you want these kinds of things to go. Now, as you guys can see, I made a comment on this post. And I stand by this comment. It might be a little expensive, but they literally have Shannon Gray at their beck and call. Literally. They've already made it clear that they already plan to file like several different lawsuits. Didn't we hear about this some months ago? I think it was like maybe around the summertime, maybe right before summertime, whenever all this stuff was going on and going back and forth with the gag order. Okay, you know how many times that thing has been brought in front of the judge and talked about and whatever. They made it clear back then that they have intentions on filing lawsuits. So why can't this be the first one? This is the most important one of all of them. Am I not right in that thinking? For the Goncalves family, who, again, the Goncalves family speaks for the Kernodles and for the Mogens. At least that's how they've been doing it for the past year. No one on Xana's side and no one on Maddie's side has come out and said otherwise, or just allowing in this all to go down like this. So if that's the case, and 3 out of 4 families, because remember, the Chapins are just okay with the house coming down. They don't want anything to really do with anything at all. If the Goncalveses, who again speaks for 3 out of 4 families, don't want the house to go and are going on News Nation and talking about how the house needs to stay because it's the biggest piece of evidence, they have an attorney right there. Why haven't they filed this yet? And yeah, it might cost some money, but they already have Shannon Gray ready and willing to do anything that they ask. And if they actually were going to be fighting for the house to stay, do you know how many people would donate to that? Literally within a few hours, like one of my commenters said, within a few hours, they would have the money to file whatever needed to be filed and to go to court and get the house left alone. I know damn well that with all the hundreds of thousands of people here on YouTube that follow this case, on Reddit that follow this case, on Twitter, on TikTok, on forums that I don't even know about, and then of course Facebook, all of these people knew that the house could possibly be saved until after trial, and the Goncalveses were going to be filing the lawsuit and going to court to make sure that the house stays. it would all be covered. People would donate. I know I would donate, and I know a lot of you guys would donate too. So I don't know why they're coming out and trying to act like they don't want the house to go, and they're acting like they're going to just be so vocal about it. But then they're not actually taking the steps that they know they legally can take in order to stop it from happening. Now, Steve even said in that interview with News Nation that he knows this is not a fight that he's going to keep fighting forever. He knows the house eventually does have to go, but it can't until after trial. That is the ethically and morally correct thing to do, in my opinion. And again, I have got to start remembering to do this in the beginning of these videos. Everything that is mentioned in this video is my opinion and my opinion alone. And just like everything else in this case, everything said here is alleged. But yeah, I honestly just don't understand. If you really don't want the house to go, and it shouldn't, file the paperwork. Have Shannon Gray do his job, because obviously he's not doing a good enough job wrangling in Steve Goncalves. He's letting him come out here on News Nation and say things that he should not be saying, and Shannon Gray is just allowing it, which, I mean, you can't control your client. But Shannon Gray should be trying to put his foot down just a little bit more, because at this point, it doesn't seem like he's really doing his job. Sorry, not sorry. And honestly, I would still really love an explanation from Scott Green about why they are so adamant to get rid of this house when, again, guys, this is not on the University of Idaho's campus. This is in a residential neighborhood surrounded by both college and non-college, normal, working adult people. This is not a college campus sorority house. So I'm not really quite understanding why it's not like the city wanting to get rid of the house instead of the university wanting to get rid of the house. I mean, it honestly makes it just seem a lot more shady than it already is, knowing that it's the university wanting to get rid of it, and it's not even part of the university's land. It's not part of their campus. It's just part of what's known to be a part of them, but it's not officially part of the University of Idaho's campus. So what's the rush? Like, they're going to be putting a memorial on the campus that's already going to be a distraction to students. So what's the problem with leaving the house where it is until trial? It's all just a bunch of hypocritical crap. But that is it, you guys. I just wanted to put my opinion out there on the entire thing. And I think a lot of you guys will agree that if the Goncalveses really wanted to save the house and they actually had Shannon Gray file something, most of us, if not every single one of us, would be rallying behind them in support. And if it really is about money, which I kind of doubt, there's so many of us out here rallying for true justice for Kaylee and Maddie and Xana and Ethan that a lot of us, if not most of us, would definitely donate to help pay those legal fees to keep the house standing until after trial. But again, that is just my opinion. That is my feelings about the entire thing. But now I want to hear yours. Do you think it's worth it if something does get filed in court? Is it worth saving the house? Or is this a battle that maybe they should just let go of? Let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, please not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. See y'all.